Good evening. The time is 7:15. Welcome to episode 8 of Punta Fuego, your weekly Wednesday evening radio drama. What we'll be doing tonight to start off things, let's recap last week's episode. That's episode 7. We know that in episode 7, a white van is seen driving by the children in the village. All right, and the same day Tamara is missing. So the vehicle was seen driving by the children in the village at the same day Tamara was missing. The entire village comes together to search for this 8-year-old girl who is the granddaughter of the well regarded fisher Sir McCoy. McCoy is distraught and reveals to Isabel, the bar owner, that he's afraid of losing Tamara, much like his own daughter Anna, whose personal difficulties include alcoholism and her abusive boyfriend Cito. Now, the search for Tamara leads to the doors of the home of the corrupt and arrogant fishing cooperative manager Ernesto, who was conducting a drug deal with Gordo. Ernesto reveals his discrimination towards fishermen when he tells Gordo he dislikes the smell of fish and dislikes the fishermen who work very hard to keep Punta Fuego thriving with the seafood they deliver to the rest of the country every day. Meanwhile, out at sea, Luke and Richie decide to sleep at Cito's fishing camp rather than on his sailboat. Richie does not like the bad reputation Cito has in the village, but he likes even less the extremely bloody tarp and knife they found at Cito's camp. Well, it's now time for us to present to you episode 8 of Punta Fuego.
Luke! Luke!
How did it go?
Why, Luke? You out of your mind or what?
That how you mean, Richie?
Shit, my boy. No act stupid. What you to do in a replenishment zone? You know I said we're not business in here. Fisheries done bust with one time already.
Richie, if you're not comfortable, why you can't decide here?
Serious, Luke? You serious? Man, I guess I'm wrong about you.
Listen, Rich, I don't try to explain to you already. Sometimes you have to do things like this when they go and get stuff.
No, man. It not worth it. They have other ways. And you know what happen if fisheries catch you?
See to what deal with that? He ain't got we covered.
Well, look, since other man from the boat they in here, so better left this alone and mind your own business, my boy. Come with me. This place here supposed to be like one fish bank. The replenishment zone, that like one fisherman saving account. Either there, so fish then could get bigger and reproduce so that we fisherman and woman could catch bigger fish and more fish. Which means more money for we and we could continue fish. They're just like Bertha say, we just they shoot with self in and with foot. With a thief from with self when we don't respect the replenishment zone.
You could talk fool, boy. Loan fool. Savings account? My real savings account empty? And it empty for months too? I don't like this either, no, Rich. But I don't need you for to try sweat me right now.
Cool. When fishes haul you off, I really hope Cito got your back for true. The money where you want get, that like what my pa used to say, water under the bridge. It don't profit you one bit. When you have to pay out that, plus motor fisheries, for all the charges they are put on you, I gone. I really not like the union.
Richie! Richie, man! Come on. I'll come with you.
Look, I don't want to stress you, but like 2 other door they in there right now. This not too much. Yesterday, they made a sequel come out there. You see the amount? And then, after what we done find the camp, I just want to get back to town and get far from this balicito.
Rich! Look, sir!
Where?
Yana!
Fish is to come. Hurry!
Paddle quick! We don't know how the savings account. But still, hurry, Rich, hurry!
God have mercy. Please don't make fishes catch way again.
Mr. Ernesto, good afternoon.
What the hell? Miss Willoughby, how you just sound barging at my office like this? You called earlier and I told you I am busy and I don't
Very
have.
sorry, Mr. Ernesto, but this is a very urgent matter.
Not to me.
I understand that, but my daughter Gina here is accused of stealing. She has been working at your store for years. This is the reputation of our family at stake, and I refuse to sit back and make you and your daughter drag Gina's name through the mud.
Mr. Ernesto, sir, I never take no money from the cash register. Sir, I never short. In my 2 years of working in the store, I've never been short. Not once. I take my time, sir, when giving change
Yes, I heard the story already, Gina. But according to my daughter Shana, it's no small amount of money. You couldn't account for it, Gina. I can't just overlook that.
Well, then ask your same daughter Shan about the money. Maybe she know what happened to it.
What the hell you imply, Mr. Lobby? I stand by Shana's decision. She says this young lady here is dishonest, and I believe she very likely is. The temptation finally got the better of her sticky fingers.
No, sir, never. Mama raised me better than that. Ask Miss Shana, please. She insisted on using my register. She said she was still learning the business. Same thing she did to the other girl at the store. Jessica, now we both fired.
Your daughter Shana is a jealous, spiteful little witch. She always spending. Got all the newest phone, the newest clothes. How you think she could afford all these things?
That's enough. Please leave. To honor.
We're going.
Come make me hear the security guard.
But your new so-called assistant manager is nothing but a little thief. And if she thinks she will damage Gina's reputation and bring shame upon we so easy, she better think again. I was always grateful for you giving Gina this job, Mr. Ernesto. But I'm very sorry. Shana will pay for this.
Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you all for coming to the first More Fish, More Money community session. We're gonna talk about how we can make sure there are more fish in the seas so that we can all continue to make more money or even better money. I know we're running a bit late in getting started, but I just wanted to give everyone time to show up. 5 minutes and we'll begin.
Sure, this is a long waste of time. I doubt I will stay for this.
That kind of meeting that usually waste of time for you. One lot of talking and talking for fishes. Must you got more regulation for push power away.
The most about this managed access business what we hear about. I only come for listen. I no got nothing for say.
Okay, maybe we should just go ahead and begin. I know most of you have attended meetings before, and I can promise you that this won't be like the others.
You know I want to come say McCoy. And McCoy encouraged me to come.
Excuse me if I could have your attention.
McCoy? McCoy never go to any meeting. I hear about this from my old lady. So I say make her come fast.
McCoy invite me too, and see, show up. I no really depend this lot of talking and talking. Anytime fishes got meeting, that's something where make life harder for we.
No. If you just give me a few minutes to explain. You know we have a big problem here in Belize. There are less fish. The ones you catch getting smaller all the time, and yet there are always more fishers out on the sea.
Yeah, we struggling. I've been on the waters for 30 years. We used to catch huge lobster. Sure, rare if we find one of them sizes these days. We too old for learn all of them new things we only try to teach we.
Boy, that who you the call all? Speak for yourself, man. Go ahead and continue already, miss. Soon tea time, You to provide thing for eat. Fish is cheap. I know how they go.
But gentlemen, this is serious. You know we need to change the way we have been doing things to make sure that we can replenish the fish stocks and make sure that your children and grandkids can continue to eat fish in the future.
For true, hope we get at least sandwich or something for with time. One little biscuit even.
Now what happened here? What happened? Not tell me say they are who head they get trouble.
Good evening, Sir McCoy. I'm really glad you made it.
Very sorry for run late. Had to make arrangements for somebody watch the picnic. But I think say them bally I know how to behave themselves.
You should have known better.
They shall me just bring your granddaughter, McCoy. They probably was that picnic.
Stop give trouble, man. I tell you said this young lady got some important information to share with we. She trying to help ungrateful people, settle on herself and try listen. Jeez, man.
All right. Go ahead, darling. Tell way.
Berta, calm down. Watch ya. I as vexed as you. But you sure said them fish were in the door come from in the replenishment zone? Where's the fish I come from, Masito? Catch to you see about man there red-handed right in there. Yeah?
Frank, let me deal with this, okay?
No problem, Berta. I'm gonna keep an eye on there too over there. Make sure they don't try nothing fishy.
What you for though? That secure the fish and lobster and take note of what come from each of them dory. No, Sito. Listen to me. They are ballet, they fish by your sailboat. You mean to tell me you never know about this?
Definitely not. Me not tolerate that kind of thing, them, Miss Berta. I know, say, we no business to fish in the replenishment zone. But me no study when they bally the door out there. I got 10 man pan this here boat, Miss Berta. And me can't watch over big man.
Well, I hope you know, say, I have to carry in a charge ne. That one good amount of product we find too. And so you know the find no one small either.
You do what you have to do, Miss Berta. That wrong, they wrong. And they have to suffer the consequences. Punta Fuego fisherman really to get out of hand.
Frank, hush. Start danger. We need to get back to town and deal with this quick, fast, and hurry. This just begs me to no end. Honestly, I don't know when fishermen will understand that the replenishment zones exist to protect for their livelihood now and well into the future. Gosh, man. One thing, Dosito. That not one, but 2 man from your boat we catch today. This the your sailboat, and you responsible for the fishers where they pan it. I can't prove say you me involved, but take this as a stern warning. And know you got various licenses where sure you wouldn't want to lose.
Berta, come on, man. You ever know me for catching anything like this? I will make sure all of them man out there and this boat, yeah, the warning too.
I hope so. I don't like this recent increase in illegal fishing one bit. You know we catch Richie and Luke a couple weeks back. We gave them a good warning. And now we catch 2 from your crew. You can expect fishers to tighten up wrong after this. I'd warn you. Keep one good eye on your crew, Sito. This type of illegal behavior not tolerated by fisheries.
Sir McCoy, good evening, sir. Me mind gone on you just now. How is Tamara?
Evening, Isabel. Well, I think he settled down a little, since the other night. I think he get frightened as much as me.
Poorly thing, running away like that in the middle of the night? She had us all in a panic, man.
I kept her home from school, Isabel. I was worried she get sick. But for tell the truth, that me no feel good, I shaky bud.
Aye, Sir McCoy.
The stress nearly get the better of me. Especially when I hear talking about the stranger with about the watch picnic.
But mind your pressure, you know. You have to take it easy, man. What are we bringing this side today?
I usually keep to myself. But I decide to take a leave walk today, Isabel. Thank everybody where I see for help me for look for Tamara.
She really that was sweet child, McCoy. You very blessed to have her in your life, you know.
So much there on my mind, Isabel. These past days I feel uneasy.
Me too. Vibes, Sir McCoy. Vibes. I feel says something there. Brewing at his tongue.
I think that move me nerves, Isabel. God help me. Pour me a little rum there, Isabel. Just one little taste.
What? Sir McCoy? But, the way they go on, yes, sir? No. You don't drink for years. Remember?
One drink, Isabel. Damn it.
I don't want to serve you liquor. I don't want to be responsible for...
Forget it. No bother. I just weak right now. That bad weather will blow through. Trigger some memories.
Leave the past in the past, Sir McCoy. Best not to speak of certain things.
But the past have a way for haunt to Isabel. Walking through town, I see the look in her people's eyes.
Not paying in no mind, Sir McCoy. Punta Fuego people talk too much.
What did it say? Isabel, what did it say? Tell me.
This not good. You best go home, Sir McCoy.
Then call me murderer.
Sir McCoy.
How about you, Isabel? You think I murder my wife?
All right, there you have it. You had it, episode 8 of Punta Fuego. And we're going to repeat this episode on Sunday at 1:15 in the afternoon. That will be Easter Sunday, right? That's Easter Sunday at 1:15 in the afternoon, a repeat of Punta Fuego. And as well, Punta Fuego has its own Facebook page. You could check out the Facebook page and leave a comment on this episode and all the previous episodes as well. Oh, I'm thinking a mosquito by. We have a full house this evening here in our studio, and we definitely want to hear from you. Of course, Punta Fuego is a show catered to fishers. Of course, we invite all our listeners to tune into this radio drama that's getting more intense, all right? It's getting more intense every episode. But in our studio tonight, we have Mr. Hipólito Bautista from the DFC, along with Ramon Pelayo. We'll be hearing from them in just a few. And from the Belize Fisheries Department, we have no other than Mr. Isaias Mahil. And that's the crew in our studio. Gentlemen, good evening. All right, we have a full house. Let's start, of course, Mr. Isaias. Could you give us a brief little bio about yourself? Who is Mr. Isaias Mahil?
Well, good night, everybody. My name is Isaias Mahil.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. My name is Isaias Mahil. I work for the Belize Fisheries Department as Marine Protected Areas Coordinator, responsible for the management of the 9 marine reserves that we have in the country. Um, we are directly responsible to make sure that these marine reserves are effective and are working for the betterment of the livelihood of our fishermen.
So that's about it. That's a little brief there from Mr. Mahil. And we have Mr. Bautista from the DFT. That's a little bit about yourself.
Yes, good night to all our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Hipólito Bautista. I'm from the Development Finance Corporation. I'm the marketing officer.
Okay.
And we're here to contribute to this, I'm sure, healthy conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have a bit of insight in it. I did a brief stint with Oceana.
Okay.
So it's a personal passion
Yeah.
of mine as well,
Yeah.
you know.
Definitely.
And we also have my
Ramon, right?
colleague, yes.
Ramon Pelayo.
Yeah,
Give
good
us-
night, everybody. Good night, Belize.
Mhm.
My name is Ramon Pelayo, and I'm credit officer for the Development Finance Corporation here in Belize City.
All right. And most folks have to go through you
Mm-hmm.
over that time.
Yeah, we're the ones that they normally
Yeah.
have to see when it's time for a loan.
Definitely. Here in Punta Fuego, we give away a prize after every show. And tonight, we're going to give away a fabulous prize. It's a $50 gift certificate for Nahil Mayab Restaurant and Patio. All right, and it's a tropical oasis in the heart of Orangewater Town, serving Latin American-inspired cuisine and drinks. And of course, you get a fabulous Punta Fuego T-shirt too, along with that prize. So that's the prize
Awesome.
tonight.
Yeah, man.
That's the prize for
Nice
tonight.
place too.
Yeah, nice place. You've been there.
Yeah.
Delicious food.
I haven't been there, so I probably have to go down.
It's right in
one
my
of these
hometown.
times. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Now, at last, our dear friend Richie, we're talking about in the Punta Fuego episode, is learning to think for himself and stand up for what he believes in. And Richie calls out Luke for fishing in the replenishment zone, telling him the replenishment zone that like the fisherman savings account. Mr. Mahil, explain to us what Richie means by that statement. And first, what is a replenishment zone?
Well, the fisheries department created marine reserve as a fisheries management tool, meaning that that's one of the tools that we use at the department
Yeah.
assist us to enhance the productivity of
Right.
the fishing sector.
Mm-hmm.
So we declare 9 marine reserves to total,
Okay.
from north to south. It's a network, and these areas have different zones. Not meaning that a marine reserve is close to fishing.
Yeah.
There is a particular area, about 15% of a marine reserve,
Okay.
that is close to fishing or any extractive use.
Yeah.
The other 85% is where the fishermen can continue doing their traditional fishing. Whatever gear they will have been using, the species that they have targeted, they can
Yeah.
continue doing that. Now, the 15% that we call in non-extractive area is what we're calling now the replenishment zone.
Yeah.
A replenishment zone is basically an area put aside so that the fish, conch, lobster, which are the most important commodities in our fishing industry, can grow bigger, can reproduce, and can then come out of this area.
Yeah.
And whenever they come out of this area, they're replenishing the area that fishermen has been targeting or fishing for
Yeah.
year round.
Yeah.
So they basically in the replenishment zone we get the bigger fish, and in science it has teach us that the bigger the fish, the more eggs.
Yeah.
The more eggs, the more
Yeah.
species
Right.
present within these zones.
Okay.
So this is basically an area that we have set aside for recruitment.
Okay.
And we have seen that it has proven very fruitful. Let me use an example so that people can visualize what I'm talking about. Holchan is Marine Reserve is one of the most famous reserves in the country.
Yeah.
When you reach the Holchan Marine Reserve, you'll see the very big groupers, a lot of snappers, a lot of jacks, grunts. If you would swim, there's a lot of conch in the replenishment zone. You see a lot of big lobsters, and you see more biodiversity.
Yeah.
So basically, the replenishment zone is doing its purpose.
Yeah.
And now, what we do is we use another sector to contribute for the management of the replenishment zone.
Okay.
So instead of targeting the fishermen to assist us in managing marine reserve, we use the tourism sector. So they
Okay.
pay an entrance fee, and we use this to
Yeah.
contribute to manage the areas so that fishermen,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, are the beneficiaries.
Now, I think you mentioned it, right? But in the episode, what does Richie mean when he says the replenishment zone is a savings account for fishers?
All right. I like to use a phrase that if you save today, you will have for tomorrow. All right. If we respect the fishery regulations, if we respect the zones, then we can fish for tomorrow.
Yeah.
We will have for tomorrow and thereafter and for our children, their children's children.
Yeah.
So basically, a replenishment zone is that. Respect the replenishment zone, and it will reproduce. It will replenish the areas that you, the fishermen, or the fishermen are using, and then that is where they will reap.
Yeah.
So it's like when you put money in the bank, when they give you your savings, that is what you use. You leave your deposit there.
Definitely.
But your savings is what you would use. Well, the fishermen, the savings is what comes out of the replenishment zone.
Yeah.
And goes out into the general use zone where fishermen can then extract them.
Wonderful. Now, fishers, how can fishers invest in this savings account, in your estimation?
The number one rule that we have as fishermen is to respect the zones.
Yeah.
And in one way that we have assisted in for them to not fall into illegal activity is we put more marker buoys. We demarcate the area at sea. You know, at sea, if you are in a boat and you would say, well, I don't know if I'm inside the replenishment zone, I'm outside of the replenishment zone.
There's markers.
There are marker buoys.
Yeah.
So the marker buoys will indicate a fisherman, okay, this is an area that I need to understand what are the regulations.
Yeah.
So first of all, respect the boundaries at which we demarcate so that they can see. Respect all the fisheries regulations, which are the illegal fishing, undersized fishing, out of season fishing.
Yeah.
Those are also contribution to assist in the for these replenishment zones to continue striving.
Yeah.
As well, we have asked fishermen, and this is now becoming a more of a bigger trend.
Yeah.
Fishermen are now starting to report other fishermen
Okay.
when they're doing illegal activities.
Okay.
If they see somebody going to a replenishment zone, they would call and say, fisheries, you know what? These guys are going in there. I respect it.
Yeah.
If I respect it, why they shouldn't? So we know we're getting information of who are the ones that are going, and that's another contribution that the traditional good fishers are now contributing to us, so that we get an understanding of who are the illegal fishers.
Right.
As well, we have had a lot of consultations when we declared these zones. These zones were not declared arbitrarily. So when any reserve was declared, we had to go to the communities. We had to consult them. We had to show them maps. We had to show them this is an area, and this is why we want to declare a replenishment zone.
Yeah.
We gave them the reasons, the science.
Mm-hmm.
We gave them how they can help,
Yeah.
and so they can also participate in all of these consultations
So
and
there's
all of these
meetings and
meetings,
yeah.
so that their concerns are being heard by us.
Mm-hmm.
So that whenever we go and consult to them, and they would say, "Well, this is my main fishing ground," then we can negotiate. We can give and take
Yeah.
because this is a give and take. We can't just move fishers from their areas
Mm-hmm.
and don't expect them to feel it in their pockets. So we have to kind of consult with them
Right.
and negotiate,
Right.
and that's how we have been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
As well, they have to understand that sometimes a replenishment zone might touch some of their traditional waters.
Yeah.
But they need to understand that at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
they have to give, and we need to give as well.
Yeah.
So it's a negotiating area,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and the we have seen that whenever we have done small, very small, no take areas or replenishment zones,
Yeah.
they tend to take longer to bear fruit.
Okay.
If the bigger an area and it's more enforceable,
Mm-hmm.
then the benefits will arrive for them at a faster rate. For
Okay.
example, Holchan.
Mm-hmm.
When we declared Holchan in 1986, actually it was about 2 to 3 years that we saw
Okay.
a increase in lobster,
Yeah.
increase in conch,
Mm-hmm.
and that was because they were respecting
Yeah.
the area, the
Okay.
replenishment zone. We saw a 400% increase
Wow.
in
Yeah.
2 to 3 years.
Okay.
But if it's too small,
Yeah.
then it will take a little longer time for this area to be able
Mm-hmm.
to replenish a very bigger area where
Right.
they were fishing and they're extracting, and the fishing industry is in so high gear,
Yeah.
especially right now.
Yes. Yes. This is the
Um,
season.
and this is like the
Height of
highest
the season.
fishing pressure that
Yeah.
the industry
Yeah.
is seeing,
Yeah.
and the species are absorbing.
All right. We're going to get back to you in just a few, Mr. Mahil. But from previous episodes, we learned that Rich's engine stops working, was refused for a loan by Ernesto, the director of the cooperative, and ended up fishing in Cito's sailboat, which is involved in all sorts of illegal activities in order to earn some money. One might say, given that fishing is Rich's means of earning money, he should have set aside some money for emergency expense such as fixing his boat engine. Now, we have with us some outstanding gentlemen from the DFC here. Mr. Hippolito, please share with our fishers listening, and we have lots of them listening, what they could do to avoid being in a similar situation like Richie. What are some simple steps one could take to be financially responsible?
Okay, good night again, everyone. It's a pleasure being here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's stated right there, no, and it actually ties in with what Mr. Mahil is saying about the replenishment zones
Yeah.
and savings.
Yeah.
Um, in essence, it's for us to think of savings in different types of ways.
Mm-hmm.
You have, in terms of finance and a fisherman. A fisherman, really and truly, like any other business person, is a businessman. He's
Yeah.
a independent business individual.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to deal with the many different dynamics of business as any other business has to. No,
Yeah.
they have their demand and supply, their overhead costs, and part of any business is very important in terms of financing and being able to access financing. So there are
Yeah.
things that they should do. And we touched on savings there.
Mhm.
And while DFC is not a saving institution, we are a lending institution. We provide, I think, some of the best programs
Yeah.
that support small businesses
Mhm.
as well as larger scale businesses. No,
Yeah.
and savings can be done in different ways, and there are benefits to savings. It helps to build history.
Yeah.
That is something that any financial institution looks for, some type of history.
Mhm.
If you just have your normal bank account that you utilize, it gives an insight immediately into the cash flow, how that person.
Yeah.
It also helps to build. It indicates to any financial institution discipline,
Yeah.
right, and responsibility.
Mhm.
And there's other types of ways that people save. It's not only that cash that you get in hand and you put it in a bank. It is a person being prudent with the money that they have, how they spend their money.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
if you just get, you just pull in one big load of fish and you get your land a good amount
Nice
of
amount.
money,
Yeah.
right? You just go on you part it out and then
Yeah.
you're back to square one.
Yeah.
It's being thrifty with your money and equally spending wisely. You say, go and buy the Prado. You're going to buy something which can get you from point A to point B,
Right.
but
Right.
in a much more economic way,
Right.
right? So that's another way that businesses save. And as the saying goes, a penny saved is a penny earned.
Yeah.
And lastly, it's taking care of what you have.
Mm-hmm.
What that translates to is building assets, right?
Right. Right.
Over time, if you're much more careful with or you take care of the items that you have, be it your boat, your motor, tying it into the
Right.
show equally in time, that helps your business to grow and you're able to develop assets over time.
Mm-hmm.
All of that ties into layman terms. We're talking about saving in different ways,
Right.
but for a financial institution, it at least hits the what we refer to as 4 of the 5 C's
Okay.
for credit, no?
Mm-hmm.
And that is it demonstrates character, which we touched on in terms of building discipline and responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
It builds your capacity. You have liquid capital
Yeah.
in the bank, and any institution you go to would want to. Yes, you are coming to us and asking us to help you
Yeah.
with financing for X amount, but you also need to believe in yourself and your business. So you must have and be able to invest in your own dream, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we often tend to request a bit, or the business person would be a partner. They would be contributory to
Yeah.
that development that they want.
Yeah.
We have again the capital we spoke on, not just not the
Mhm.
equity itself,
Mhm.
and collateral, the assets that they can use.
Yeah.
And lastly, well, the conditions which often they go to a financial institution, they have to look for the best conditions that an institution can give.
Yeah.
And my colleague, definitely Raman, is going to be touching on that a bit later in terms
Okay.
of what DFC provides,
Yeah.
and what we think is the most ideal. An institution, a fisherman, for example, or a farmer, they need to look for an institution where it offers the conditions or the opportunity that the financing, for example, can work with their cash flow, especially businesses which are seasonal.
Yeah.
We're talking right now, fisheries, it's in high season,
Yeah.
you have your off season, this is in the tourism,
Yeah.
businesses which are in these types of seasonal, highs and lows, they need to have an institution that is willing to work with them.
Right.
And DFC is that type of institution. So,
Let's ask Mr. Pelayo if you could share with us some of the roles of the Development Finance Corporation, DFC.
Good evening, radio listeners. Thank you so much for inviting us. One of the major roles of the DFC is to expand the economy of Belize.
Okay.
We're here to provide financing
Mm-hmm.
on a sustainable basis that is both economical and environmentally acceptable
Yeah.
to those individuals who would not normally obtain it under other reasonable terms and conditions.
Okay.
What some might call the non-bankable.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of flexibility in our conditions
Yeah.
and on our repayment terms.
Okay.
Okay. Depending on the nature of the programs, we offer curtailed or extended repayment periods,
Mm-hmm.
which also include some form of grace period,
Okay.
so that the fisherman or the businessman or the student or the entrepreneur can breathe
Yeah.
during the
Yeah.
infant stage of the
Mhm.
service
Mhm.
product. Also, the terms are flexible.
Yeah.
And the interest rates.
Yeah.
The interest rates, when it comes to development funding, are the
Mhm.
lowest in the country.
Nice. Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Some of the ways in which we are able to assist them.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So it's in terms of the financing, right? That
yeah,
DOC. Yeah.
the financing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are various ways in which we can offer financing and assist fishermen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can help them through our micro, small, and medium enterprise loans,
Okay.
and we can help them through the larger loans, which are the more productive, development-oriented
Yeah.
loans.
Okay.
Now, the smaller loans would range from about 4,000 to about 40,000. Those are considered
Okay.
smaller
Small loans.
loans, and those could be for working capital,
Yeah.
for fishing gears and equipment, for fishing engines,
Mhm.
the boat engines, sorry, the
Mhm.
boats, the skiffs. Also, we can also help them in replenishing lobster traps and shades.
Okay. Okay.
purchasing the raw materials to build these essential equipment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, those are for the smaller ones.
Yeah.
The larger projects, because much of the fishing industry as well, and fishing is also linked to tourism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Definite. Yeah.
So, and ecotourism as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're there for financing these bigger boats, bigger
Okay.
skiffs,
Okay.
bigger engines,
Mm-hmm.
larger equipment,
Yeah.
all that kind of thing. We're in for that. It's not only what we might call the smaller loans,
Yeah.
also the $1 million loans as well.
Yeah.
You know,
You
because
raise some eyebrow. You raise
sometimes you
some
have the
eyebrow.
and then when it comes to the benefits oriented with these programs,
Yeah.
you have under the micro, small, and medium enterprise, you have rate starting at 8%.
Nice.
And then under the larger loans, they start at 9.75%.
Okay, which is still good.
And the fees as well, we offer low fees,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
also we can assist them with it through the loan.
All right, man, very, very quality information we're getting from you guys. Look at the time. It's 10 minutes to 8 o'clock. Yes, Mr. Bautista, you wanted to add some more?
Yes, yes. One of the main, I would say, benefits of
Mm-hmm.
accessing financing from DFC and extending it to our fishers, especially the ones who are coming up.
Yeah.
Either they're looking to expand their business or they're looking to get into the business.
Mm-hmm.
Is that our interest rate is charged on the reducing balance for the entire life of that financing.
Okay.
So that actually
Okay.
makes it even more affordable than
Definite.
that rate that you would hear.
Mm-hmm.
I know everything is okay. What interest rate am I going to be locked in?
Yeah.
We do not increase our rates. Like for example, if you lock in with something, it actually will decrease over a period
Okay.
of time.
Okay. Yeah.
It isn't something where after 2 years, okay, well you have to come to the drawing board
Mm-hmm.
and we based on your business, etc.
Yeah.
You're making more money, we want to charge you more. No, so
Okay.
that's one of the awesome things about DFC.
Wonderful. Guys, I got to give away a prize tonight. We're running, it's only 9 minutes to 8. Can you believe that?
Wow.
203
Flies, it flies.
2098. Here's the question, callers, those listening. Mr. Mahil mentioned that a replenishment zone is like a savings account for fishers. He mentioned several ways how fishers could invest in a replenishment zone savings account. I want someone to call in and tell me two of the ways fishers could invest in their replenishment zone savings account. I have two calls already. Just
Wow.
like that, yeah. Punta Fuego, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yep. Tell me, tell me two of the ways that fishermen can replenish in their zone in their savings account in terms of replenishment zones.
By respecting the
And Mr. Mahil will tell you if you're correct. All right.
yes, respecting the markers,
Uh-huh. And
by reporting other fishermen who are entering the replenishment zone to fish or whatever.
Mr. Mahil.
Yeah, very good.
All right. You know what? They say that. Tell him again.
Is
He's
to
correct.
respect
He's
the
correct.
markers
Uh-huh.
that, and also to report any fishermen that are entering the replenishment zone.
He's correct, right?
Yeah, it's
You are correct. Well, congratulations. Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from?
Belize City.
And your name?
Put it under Juan Rodriguez.
Juan Rodriguez.
Congratulations, Juan.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well, let me tell you what you've won. $50 gift certificate. And these guys say that this spot, Nahil Mayab Restaurant and Patio, it's beautiful. It's a tropical oasis in the heart of Orange Walk Tongue. You know, they could get tacos, right? They get more than tacos. Right?
yeah, very good.
All right. So enjoy. And then we have a Punta Fuego t-shirt for you as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you as well. Just like that first caller, and
Quick thing.
we get a winner. So that's good, guys. We got about let's see about 6 minutes. So we could do two things: give you final words, right? Or you could just share an Easter message from DFC and from the Belize fishers. It's Easter. Everybody eat fish right now. Starting Good
Yeah.
Friday, it's all about fish, right?
Correct.
Let's start with Mr. Mahil. Final words from you.
Well, yeah, I would ask the general public to please respect the regulations pertaining to the fishing industry.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a lot of reports of undersized conch coming in,
Okay.
and because the market is out there, it's high.
Mhm.
Fishers are bringing them in, so whenever they don't respect the fishery regulations, at the end of the day, they're affecting their livelihoods.
Yeah.
And they need to understand that is that if I take out something and don't give it the time to grow and reproduce, at the end of the day, I'm hurting my pocket
Yeah.
and my children's money and my wife's, and then we don't have
Yeah.
income.
Definitely.
And as Mr. Hippolito was mentioning, savings is something that they need to start to understand.
Yeah.
Um, that there will be very good fishing days and there will be bad fishing days, and everybody that has been going out fishing knows
Yeah.
that. So I ask to please respect the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
The lobster season is closed right now. The conchs has their size limit, um, and with that, they will be contributing to our fisheries industry.
Thank you, Mr. Pelayo. Then we wrap up with Mr. Bautista.
Okay. I'd like to mention that we have offices countrywide,
Okay.
and when it comes especially to fishermen and the micro, small, and medium enterprise sector,
Mhm.
we're willing to work with people,
Yeah.
especially during the project, and that is part of that is one thing that we like to sell to them. That
Yeah.
if they're experiencing difficulties in the development of the project, in the development of the service, we're
Yeah.
willing to work with them and understand
And
them.
countrywide, you said you have
Yeah,
offices, right?
and our offices here in Belize City are
All
located
the fishing
Coney Drive.
districts, villages, you guys are located
Yeah,
in those
especially
areas.
in the Corozal
Yeah.
district,
Yeah.
San Pedro,
Yeah.
Belize City, Orange Walk.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
Well, thanks, man, for stopping by.
Thank you
I know
for
you have
inviting
so
us.
much you could share, but
Yeah, we have much more.
but
We
such
have
a
a
little
whole
time.
book.
Such a little time.
We forgot it at home.
Mr.
Yeah.
Bautista.
Well, we are very grateful for the invitation. I
Mhm.
think it is right. It is in line with what the Development Finance Corporation is about.
Yeah.
We are for the long-term sustainable development of our Belizean economy, and
Mhm.
in layman terms, that translates to or business people, like I said, and or fishers,
Yeah.
or entrepreneurs. They fall right in line with that. So we have programs specifically geared to support them. And I think, as with the WCS, having the replenishment zones is
Yeah.
equally, I can
Mhm.
see it kin with what we are about. No,
Definitely.
I'll end off with the ESA message. DFC would like to extend to all Belizeans a happy
Yeah.
and a safe, most importantly, safe
Mhm.
Easter holidays.
Definite.
No drinking and driving.
Yep, I agree with you on that one. And of course, we always end with an inspirational message, right? Call for action. Replenishment zones and healthy marine protected areas are not things we can buy, but they can be a very valuable savings account for all fishers who invest in preserving them. Fishers, invest in a replenishment zone in order for you to reap the benefits. We want to say thanks again to Mr. Isaias Mahil, Mr. Hipólito Bautista, and Mr. Ramon Pelayo. Guys, gentlemen, thank you very much. And continue to listen to Punta Fuego. We're just at episode 8, and we go to 26 episodes.
Wow.
So that's going to be it for tonight here in Punta Fuego. You've just been listening to episode 8. I repeat, comes up Sunday at 1:15 p.m.